Hi, Phanessa here. In this video, I am going to show you how to add the reflection and the black border around the goggles. So I just released this pattern. It is the Among Us toy, and it is 15 inches tall, so it's a pretty big, cuddly, squishy thing. It was requested by my kiddos. So the first one did not have the reflection and the border because I pretty much let the boys tell me what they wanted, and I think it was more of a they wanted the toy as quick as possible. So they said not to add the reflection and the border, and so I didn't, and I've already published that pattern. So now they want me to add it because I made this one here for a friend, and so now I'm just making a video just on how to add these things, and it's going to be how you add it when you haven't attached the goggles, and also how you add it when you've already attached the goggles. So this was the one I made with the video tutorial. I'll leave a link for the video tutorial, and I'll leave a link in the description box for the patterns. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to start with the goggles that you have not attached yet. You can skip forward if you're looking for the instructions on how to add the border and reflection after the fact. So for the reflection and the border, I used the Burnett blanket for all of them, and it's the 10.5 ounce. And I don't have white, so I use this pale gray against this darker gray. And the black is for the border. I'm assuming this is just black. I don't know what the name of it is. I don't think it's anything fancy. Okay, so I'm just going to pull, we don't need that much. So this is good enough. This is like 24 inches maybe? Probably more than enough. So I always want to put the tail part at the bottom of my work, so it's going to look like this. So I want to put the reflection on this corner. So if you look here, I've worked 1, 2, 3, 4 slip stitches right after the first round. This is actually the edge. So that's this part here, the edge. And right after this round, I placed it in between the rounds right here. And I just sort of chose a spot just so that it's in the corner like this. Okay, so I'm just going to pick, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just go in here. I mean, you can make it longer if you like. And then I'm just going to grab the lighter color. You can use white or just any lighter color. And then just loop it on your hook and pull it through. Okay, let go of the tail. So we're going to insert in this space, and this space. So it's the hole right in between each stitch in between the rounds. Okay, so right into the next space, yarn over, okay, yarn over, and pull it through. And then you want to pull it through the loop that's on your hook. Into the next space right here, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Again, pull up another loop, and then next stitch. Okay, so you can take a look before you fasten off to see if you like the size of this one. So it's going to be, this one is 4. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, I'll leave this one at 5. As you can see, we really didn't need that much. So you're going to cut your yarn, and then you're going to pull it through, pull the tail up. Okay. Into the same hole or the same space that this one came out of, insert your needle there. Okay. And then what I did was I sort of just ran this through the back and tied it to the other strand, making sure I don't poke through so that you don't see it on the other side. Okay, you want to check to make sure you didn't run it through the outside. And you can secure this however you like. Then just tie a couple of knots. Don't pull it tight though, the first knot. Okay, you can cut this off, or you can just leave it since it's going to be the inside. This one was secure already. Now we're ready to add the black border. Okay, now we're ready for the black border. So I like to start in the same area as my beginning and end of the round. So I am going to grab my tail, make a loop. This was your back post single crochets. So if I face it this way, this was the way we worked this back post single crochet. So these are the stitches on the top. So I'm going to insert it in the first one. I don't think it really matters where you start. Okay, again. So we're just going to work slip stitches all the way around. So into the next stitch, yarn over, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Into the next stitch, yarn over, and then pull through the loop on your hook. And then we just continue working slip stitches all the way around in every stitch. You can also work single crochets if you want. If you saw the backpack tutorial, I did add an additional single crochet to make it a little bit thicker, but I don't really want this one thick, so I'm just adding slip stitches. And the other thing I don't like about single crochets is you can see the, let me just work some. Okay, let me work a couple of single crochets. So I don't like the single crochets because you can see the transition between the two colors, and I just don't like that look. So that is the reason why I'm working the slip stitches. So if you want a taller one and you want to use the slip stitch, you can just add another row of the gray color or whatever color you're using for the goggles. Okay, so I'm just going to work slip stitches all the way around. Okay, so I'm at the end here. I'm going to go right into that first stitch as well. And then I'm going to pull my hook out. I'm going to insert my hook through the first stitch here. This was my first slip stitch. Place the loop on my hook and pull it through. Okay, just yarn over and pull through and tighten. And then I'm just going to leave the tail on the inside after I tie it with the beginning tail, just so that I know it's secure. So all of these will be on the inside when I sew around my piece. Okay, you can watch the video on how to attach it to your plush toy. Okay, so now that we've done that, let me show you how you add it when you've already attached the goggles. So I'm going to start with the reflection. Again, we're working in this space here in between the rounds. So between these two rounds. And I'm just going to randomly pick where I want to start, right there. Okay. Okay, so leaving enough tail to weave your ends. I think that's good enough. Place the white or whatever color on your hook and then pull it through. So now we're just going to go into the second space just like we did before, up this side. Remember we worked the slip stitch from behind, but because our yarn is up here you have to insert through this side and out the other and then pull it through like that. So that's a slip stitch. Let me do that in steps. So now you're going to work into the same space this one came out of and then back out the other one. Okay, and then yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the loop on your hook and then into the next space, which is the same one that this one came out of. Yarn over, pull through, and through the loop on your hook. Next one, yarn over and pull through. So I'm going to look to see if I'm okay with this. So in this one I did 5. I think I'm going to leave this one at 4. So I'm going to cut this and pull this up. Grab my tapestry needle. Okay, and then I'm going to want to go into the same space that this one came out of. What I'm going to do is come back down on the bottom of the goggles. Okay. Just make sure the tension's good. So I'm just going to insert through one of these stitches, grab my yarn, wrap it around my needle, pull it to secure. Okay. So now if I stick this back in here and pull it, it'll pull that yarn in. Okay, see? So what I did was I pulled it all the way in and it disappeared. Now just pulling it slightly, cut off the tip, and it'll pop back in. Do the same thing for this side. So I'm going to insert it right into this space here where this stitch is coming out of. Let's try doing it to the side so that we're not dragging it so far. Okay, I want to make sure that this isn't pulled in so that it's puckering there. Oops, I just did it. Okay. So yeah, I have a longer tail. So I'm going to choose one of these stitches here where the purple is, making sure I wrap this. Okay. I barely have enough tail. Okay. Then pull it tight. So we have a little knot there. Put your needle back through the goggles. And I'm just going to come out on the side here. So let's pull tight. And you can hide it quite well. Okay, now let's do the border. For this one, we're actually going to work around the post. So for here, we actually worked into the top of the single crochets. For the one that we've already attached, we're going to go around the post, which is down here. Remember we worked around the post for the back post single crochets? That's where the post is that you're going to be working the black yarn. So I'm just going to insert the first one down here. Okay, place your yarn, pull it through. Don't forget to leave a tail for sewing around the next post, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through. Into the next post, yarn over, pull through, pull through. So it's much easier if you just go around the post, and then when you yarn over, just pull it right through both the gray yarn and the black yarn. Next post, and then just keep working your slip stitches around the post of every stitch around. Okay, so I'm at the last post here. Cut my yarn, pull it through, and then we're going to weave it in like we did for the reflection. So, me being lazy, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie a knot from the beginning, and then I'm going to cut the yarn. If you're not feeling lazy, you can do each individually like you did with the reflection. Okay, now I'm just going to pull it through. Okay, I know that's kind of cinched up there, but I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to fix this with my needle. Okay. Now I know that it's secure because I tied 2 knots. Cut that, push that sucker back in. So this is the one I worked before attaching it, which is a lot easier. So if you can do this first, it'll save you a lot of time. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button and turn on your notifications so you will be notified every time I post a video. All right, I'll see you next time.